Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Horror Analysis with me, Drew. Hopefully it's a quick one today. I've been trying to get through the rest of Europe. Last time we did Eastern Europe. That we have here. Today we're going to do Northern Europe, so this is the Northern Europe map. So we did Eastern Europe, which is the stuff pretty much under Finland and Sweden. And we already talked about some of the purples underneath Finland, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. We did, of course, in Eastern Europe, and I don't think it had any. And of course we did the ones underneath Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia. We also did Poland and down to Greece. So this meridian? I guess so, yeah, meridian. This meridian is the cutoff, pretty much, with the exception of Finland, which is definitely Northern Europe. Right. So, oh, goodness gracious, where am I at? There we go. Actually, let's get centered here also. Usually stuff I have done before the video starts. Uh-oh. There we go. Close enough. Alright, I have my tea. So, the countries, of course, in Northern Europe are where we should start. Above the British Isles, of course, you have Iceland, where Iceland is. I should probably have a map that has the names on here. This one has some of them. Doesn't have Iceland, of course, but Iceland is, of course, above the UK. I can switch back and forth between these two maps, I think. Yeah, above the UK is, or the Great British Isles, I suppose, is Iceland. Oh, hold on. Yeah. No, I got the names right. I'm just seeing if I wanted to do something else. I don't know. We'll see. The one in the peninsula at the north that isn't marked is Norway, then Sweden, then Finland. And then, of course, you have the Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania that I've marked here. And then the other one, of course, is Denmark, the one underneath the V shape that's in between Sweden and Norway. So Denmark is also part of, quote, Northern Europe. These things aren't, set in stone. I mean, some people written down there. I'm sure some League of Northern European Nations or something is there, and they hang out at the UN or something. But I don't know. This is the map that Wikipedia came up with, so that's the one I'm using. This map I got from Yahoo, and it has the names on it, so I'm using that as well, too. Right, so where am I starting? I guess I'll start with Iceland, which is the most north, I suppose, or, well, depending on. Iceland is the most western Northern Europe. So I'll start there for whatever reason. With the one movie that I found from Iceland that was horror, I couldn't find any books either. Might be, but nothing I'm familiar with. Please let me know. It was called The Reykjavik Whale Watching Massacre in 2009. Actually, I did find the Wikipedia article on this, and I thought it was great. Some tourists go out on a whale watching tour. The ship runs into trouble, and they abandon ship onto a whaler, a ship that's actually killing the whales. I guess this is a term, fish billies. The fish billies on the vessel have just gone bust, and everything goes out of control. The It didn't do too well in Iceland because people didn't get the jokes that were implanted in it. Um, and it was first billed as Iceland's the first Icelandic thriller, and then was later billed as you shouldn't watch this unless you have a sense of humor. Um, so horror comedy, I guess. It also has Gunnar Hansen as the captain. I don't know which ship. Maybe I don't know if it's the sailor ship or the whale watching ship or the whaler. But Gunnar Hansen was the original Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, who is an Icelandic born actor. And was in the first Icelandic thriller movie. So here's to Gunnar Hansen. Oh man, good stuff. Anyway, yeah, okay. Let's get rid of that for the moment. From there, we'll go to Norway. What do I have for Norway? We have most films that are Norway are cheap locations. Like, Norway and Finland, they're a cheap location for other people to film their movies. Like, Luxembourg has American Werewolf in Paris, I think. But, it's obviously not Paris, because Paris would be expensive to film in. And Norway, they have woods and whatever. But, there's some Norwegian horror as well. Dead Snow. I have seen the trailer for Dead Snow. I haven't seen the movie. It's essentially zombies coming back from the dead in the middle of a snowstorm and attacking kids. Zombies that invaded Norway, or were in Norway, and got caught in a snowstorm or something. I think they were protecting treasure that the kids found and wanted to take with them. There is also Dark Souls, which was a quasi-zombie, quasi-ghost film, and also a couple of slasher type movies from Norway as well. I'm going to jump over Sweden for the moment and go to Finland. Finland has a little bit. They actually have. I've actually been enjoying some of Finland's stuff. They have Dark Floors, which is the Lordi movie. And now I'm going to go over Lordi certainly more when I go over horror music. I'm definitely going to do a video, maybe two, on horror music. Lordi is a fantastic. I just learned about him because of this Dark Floors movie. It's the Lordi movie, is how it's the tagline. It's essentially like they're dressed up like Gwar is dressed up. If anybody knows Gwar, I should have the film poster or something. But they play the monsters in this movie. Like, it's essentially a mental institution, and an autistic girl and a couple of other people are going down an elevator, and all hell breaks loose. And there's a monster on each floor, and they're the Lordi band members. Oh, goodness. And it looks fantastic, and I've been listening to a lot of Lordi just because it is great horror fan. If you're a horror fan, you'll probably be a Lordi fan. If you like metal at all. I'm not a big metal fan at all either, but it's like hair metal if it were good, mixed with 90s metal. Stuff that I grew up on, I guess. But it's fantastic. Lordy is really, really good stuff. It's cheesy, but it's good behind the cheesy, so I don't even know what to say about that. I know no American band could get away with being cool with the stuff that they try to do. They'd be laughed at. Let's see. Oh, and the other thing, the older versions of Finnish horror, in the 40s and 50s, they actually had quite a bit. Oh, crap. And the titles are in Finnish. White Reindeer, which was translated, thank goodness for me. Okay. There's The Witch Returns to Life, I think is the proper translation. I had to put it into Google Translate to get these, which is Noita Pala Alamon. And I'm probably slaughtering that one. I apologize to any Finnish people. And the other one was Lenasten Viria Kamari, which was Lenasten's Green Chamber. Oh, and I have a note to self: don't try pronouncing things in Finnish. The Green Chamber one, Lenasten's Green Chamber, looks very strange. Like, I don't even know what it would be. It's like Pride and Prejudice mixed with Dracula or Bluebeard. It's very strange. It was based on a book as well, and I'm sure the book makes sense. Or the old Gothic people, the Gothic versions we talked about in History of Horror, where there's a secret room and then there's an evil stepfather or something who's trying to get the money, and then he doesn't let the daughter marry the good guy, and then there's stuff going on, and then there's actually a ghost, but it may not be a ghost, and who knows. It's weird. It's not bad. It seems interesting, but it's also, of course, I couldn't even find I had to Google Translate most of the Wikipedia article because it was the American one, the English one, was very small, but the Finnish one was huge, and I wanted to get some more information. I didn't glean a lot from it, to be honest, because Google Translate isn't a perfect translation, but it seemed interesting. I don't know if it's as cool as the Lordy movie. The Lordy music videos, oh my goodness. We'll talk more about Lordy when we get to music. And they sing in English, which is really cool, which is helpful for me. And then I'll go to Denmark just to finish it off before I hit Sweden. Sweden definitely has the biggest tradition, or the most Western-friendly tradition, I should say, of horror films, horror books and movies. Danish, we have the Island of the Lost Souls, 2007, which seems to be your typical haunted house thing. Is it? I think it is. Hold on, let me double check. Am I right in that? Oh. Yeah. Danish horror. I have to do a search in Wikipedia because it's not coming up on my normal page. Island of the Lost Souls. Was this coming up the same thing? Oh. No, I actually don't have any information on the Danish horror movie Island of the Lost Souls. There's no information that came up. And then there is the director, Benjamin Christensen, who is Danish. He did most of his directing in other countries. Famous for Haxan, and there was another one. But again, I try to have the... I'm not going to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre during Iceland because the original Leatherface was an Icelandic actor. It doesn't fit. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is an American film. So if a Danish director directs an American film, I'm going to have to talk about it when we talk about America, which I'm not going to talk about America because England and America we've basically gone over. There's so much interaction between England and America. I don't think there's any real difference between the two of them. There might be a bit of a difference between, two of them, but I'm so immersed in both that I don't think I can even tell the difference. And I think there's a lot of interplay between American and English. Stephen King talks about his books here too. Why can't I think of his name? Peter Straub. His book's not here, but I thought of his name. Peter Straub being an English type author. I guess I can see it, but I don't see it. It's not something I pick up on, which makes this sort of thing difficult. But as I'm saying, I'm trying to get a flavor for each of these guys, and I can't tell the difference between English and American. And of course, some of these countries, the sample size is too small that I can't say, I can't get a feel for, Icelandic horror because there's only one thing that's coming up when I type in Icelandic horror into Wikipedia and or search engines. There's only one thing that comes up when I come up with Danish. I guess if you want to say that, if you wanted to say something like, is there a feel for the Danish and the Finnish and the Northern European together? I think there is, and I think it's basically driven more by Sweden, which is why I'm going to get in Sweden now. Actually, I have my notes on Sweden in the computer, so I'm going to have to flip over here. Right. Now, Sweden, of course, has the tradition firmly embedded in it because it's a lot of Ingmar Bergman movies. Ingmar Bergman's one of those directors that directors love, and people who are really into film, are usually really into Ingmar Bergman. Just one of those, directors that are really good, universally acknowledged as great. And not exactly a horror movie director, but all those great directors, as I made mention of before, all have a couple of horror movies under their belt. Name a great director that doesn't have a horror movie under their belt, you're going to be really hard pressed to find anything at all. So, and of course, there's Seventh Seal. I always get that one confused because there's a Seventh Sign and a Seventh Seal, and one's with Demi Moore and one's not. Seventh, and I get it confused every time. Seal. Yeah, Seventh Seal. I was right. Seventh Sign was a Demi Moore movie from the 80s. Yeah. Also, dark horror-ish, not horror-ish, but action-adventure with demonic stuff going on. I don't know if I didn't recommend it. Seventh Seal I'd recommend. There was a couple of others that are dark from Ingmar Bergman. And and of course, that kind of notoriety, that kind of all-star from that region, there's going to be a lot of influence there. And then, what else do I have for Finland? Iceland, Sweden. Oh. The door started opening and that creeped me out. I have to check. Oh, my closet door's not closed fully either. That's gonna creep me out too. Sorry, guys. I gotta do it. Yeah, you guys try talking about horror every day. Alone in a room. See if you don't get freaked out. It happens. Where was I? Oh, I had other Swedish horror movies. I know I did. Oh, we went to Germany. Okay, so I know we have later contemporary things with Let the Right One In, both film and book, both Swedish. Let me jump down to Sweden, because I know there's more than these. 19. So Let the Right One In, of course, is a book by, I'm going to say his name wrong again, aren't I? John Ajvide Lindqvist. And the movie came out in 2008. The book was 2004. It's a vampire story. A bullied kid befriends a little girl who's a vampire. It's weird. Yeah, so anyway. Oh yeah, so let me back up there. There's a bunch of slasher movies on here. There's a bunch of movies that are English that were filmed there, like The Woman in Black with Daniel Radcliffe. Hackson was filmed there, the one I just talked to about, Danish. The Phantom Carriage. Did I talk about The Phantom Carriage? I think I did during the old films, when I was going over films, about the bad people who die have to be the stagecoach rider of the dead for a year. Drowning Ghost. Oh, there's a couple on here. I should have written more of these down. Slasher films. A lot of slasher films. Midsummer. I had that one on my list someplace too. Oh, Danish film. Yeah, a lot of I Know What You Did Last Summer clones and stuff like that. A lot of vampires, because Let the Right One In was really popular. I will go over more of Lindqvist stuff while I'm here. Lindqvist was also has Handling the Undead, which is out in America now for sure, and he has another one, Harbor. I'm not sure. Harbor, I think. Anyway. He puts a different take on that. He's this neo-Swedish writing, you know, I don't want to lump Lindquist in the same group as Stieg Larsson, but those kind of big names do come out of Sweden, so a lot of other people are sort of taking note. I don't want to say that their flavor is, pushed by Sweden too much, but the majority is Sweden driven. What is that up there? See that little tiny purple dot at the top? What the heck is that? Is that part of Norway? Weird. I have no idea. 1976, psychological drama, Ingmar Bergman. What is this madness? It's Sector 236, Thor's Wrath. Horror science fiction. A group of army people go missing, and then the teenagers going to hike, and they're killed off one by an unseen force. And then they meet one of the Swedish colonels, and they try to get out. Yeah. Sort of standard horror movie fare. And a lot of Europe is standard horror movie fare for some of these, especially for the ones coming up later. Next time, I was trying to bite off more than I could chew and get all of Europe done together. I think next time I'm going to try to get Central Europe, France, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, Switzerland, Austria, Czech Republic, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg. And then I'll go into South Europe, hopefully as well. Which would be Italy, Spain, Portugal, Sardinia. Is that Sardinia? One of them. It's on this map. Anyway,
I did want to make it a short video. For this one, I can't really get a flavor for.
There is a lot of disparate elements. There's the flavor I get is it's cold. There's a lot of cold references. There's a lot of stuff with snow zombies, snow vampires, where, there's one of these is what was that movie with, that guy from the What's It? Come on now. The one where there's 24 hours darkness. Well, it's based, this one's called Frostbite, the Swedish movie called Frostbite. And there's an American one with... Oh no, I was thinking of somebody else. That's not the guy in there. I can't think of that guy's name either, but I was confused. The one guy I couldn't think of, that's not him. It was another guy I couldn't think of. Ashton Kutcher, I think. Is it Ashton Kutcher? Where the vampires are able to come out all day because the sun doesn't come up for like a couple of months, or only briefly. I think it's an Ashton Kutcher movie. So Frostbite is the Swedish version. Oh, and there's, of course, some of the ones are Swedish. In the Swedish version are zombies, or not zombies, SS officers turned vampire. Anyway, I'm gonna beat my brains out until I think of that movie. Anyway, folks, I'll come back next time, of course. We'll continue with horror anthropology. And we'll continue with Europe. I wanted to get a couple, maybe one or two more videos done with Europe. And then the rest of the world. The rest of the world's going to be weird because, with the exception of South America, I don't have anything for Africa. I don't have anything for Oceania besides American or British stuff in Australia, which is essentially in English, so it's part of American and British tradition. British tradition, with a little bit of differences, but not some that like I would call native or aboriginal to Australia. And of course, it's also a cheap place to film, so there are a lot of things are filmed there. New Zealand as well. There's a couple from South America. I don't have anything from the continent of Africa at all. I'm going to go over, what is it called? Nollywood? Nigerian? Nollywood is Nigerian. Hollywood. And see if there's anything there. South African does have some, but they're just American movies, just filmed in South Africa. Not South African flavored. So the dark continent is dark to horror, unfortunately, because I don't have anything on it at all thus far, and I don't know if I'll get anything at all. Central and South America might have a bit. I'm going to double check. I know that South America certainly. Central America maybe. I'll see if I can find something. Mexico did as well, so I might toss that in with Central America. But I don't even know. I might just, after I finish with Europe, I might just do everything else. The rest of the world, besides the stuff that I already covered. And then we'll go on to non-narrative horror. Oh my goodness, coming down to it. Alright, folks, my name's Drew. I'll catch you next time on Horror Analysis. Have a good night.